Mitski, Washing Machine Heart, Guitar Tabs and Guitar Lesson. So this will be in a standard tuning, E, A, D, G, B, E, and a lot of this will be kind of this rhythmic kind of bass synthesizer going on. So I'll just substitute some like power chords in there so you can follow along with that. But there are some guitar chords getting strummed in there at certain parts. And I'll even give you some of the synth lead stuff that's happening. So we'll start with this intro, and it stays on this D flat power chord for about 16 strums or so. So that we'll just do that here at the 4A, 6 on the D, and we're just down strumming like, quarter note style here. All right, and we carry that out, like I said, about 16 strums on there, 4 sets of 4, and then it kind of gets into the actual first part of the verse, and we're staying on the D flat there, the 4 and 6 at 4 strums. All these chords are more or less like 4 strums until we get to the bridge section. So we're just hanging on that D flat, 4 and 6 there. Move over to the A now, up a set. We got the 5E, 7A, 4 there. Drop down a set to the 5A, 7D for the D power chord. Back up to the A at the 5 and 7 here, 4. Throw in this F now at the 8A, 10D. Bump it up to the F sharp at the 9 and the 11. Drop back down to the D at the 5 and 7 here. Then up to the low set here for the A at the 5 and 7. Alright, so that's the first part of the verse. The second part of the verse starts more or less the same way, almost all the same thing. The 4 and 6, the D flat, A at the 5 and 7, D, 5 and 7, lower set, up to this again at the A, 5 and 7. We do our F at the 8 and 10, F sharp at the 9 and 11. But here's where it switches. Instead of doing the D to A, we do a B flat to A. So we go 6 on the low E, 8 on the A, 4 strums, then to the A at the 5 and 7. Alright, so that's the second part of the verse. And then we would do this new little bit, which I would call like the first verse ending. And we'll see this again a little later on, but it's this bit here where it drops low now to the F sharp. So the 2E, 4A, 4 strums, off to the low E at the open E, 2 on the A, down to the open A here at the open A, 2 on the D, now a B at 2A, 4D. Alright, and then from there, it basically just repeats that first part of the verse twice. Alright, the D flat to A, D, A, F sharp, F to F sharp, D to A. Alright, it repeats that whole thing, the verse part 1. It does it twice, and it's essentially kind of a second verse, and it becomes like the first part of the synth lead section. Alright, and if you want to play that synth lead, we're hanging out here, G string here, we go 4, 6, 7B, 5, 7, 7G, 6G, 4, 6 to 2, then a little chromatic, we go 4, 5, 6G. Alright, hold that a moment, we go 7 a couple times, hold it, then to 6. Alright, repeat all the way up until we drop down to 2. Okay, and then we end it differently by going low now. We go 4, 4D to 2, then 3, 2B. Alright, and after that initial lead synth riff, we take it to now the second half of that synth lead. It kind of switches the pattern, where we would just basically start here at the D5, the 4 and 6 there. Okay, then the A, the D at the 5 and 7 under it, And here it kind of switches and gets a little funky. This is just kind of like the only spot where this happens. It's like this weird little hitch that happens where we'll do 2 strums of the A at the 5 and 7, then quickly drop down to the F sharp at the 2 and 4 here, do that 4 times. Then we'd come off to the E for only 2 strums. Then we do the D at the 5 and 7 on the lower set, then up to the A at the 5 and 7 here on the E and A. So it's kind of this funky little one hit time progression that happens at the second half of that synth lead. So just be aware of that if you're trying to do the chords there. After the synth lead, basically we repeat that ending of the first verse, all right, where we do the F sharp low here at the 2 and 4 to the open E, the A to the B. Okay, we repeat that part there, and then we do our D flat at the 4 and 6, the A, the D at the 5 and 7 here, and then back to the A. Okay, so at that point, once that post synth lead section happens, now we get some actual guitar that comes in. All right, and it's kind of doing these high voiced voicings here, where we do a couple strums of 14s on the G, B, and E for this F minor. Then we want this high voiced E, so 14D, 13G, 12 on the B and E. Just kind of one hit on that. And then we move that shape down for a D, and we kind of want to hit like part of it and then strum. So like hit like the 12D, then 11G, then hit the 10s on the B and E. Okay, drop that shape down to the A spot. So we got the 7D, 6G, 5s on the B and E. Same type of feel. Alright, move to this F sharp minor at the 9A, 11 on the D and G, 10B, 9E, and it's that same kind of like pick the bass note under it, then the rest of the chord. Okay, drop down to an E at the 7A, 9 on the DGB, same thing, bass note, the 5th, and then the 9 on the G and B there. Alright, back to the A shape here, the 7, 6, and 5s, same deal. Bump that shape up 2 frets to the B at the 9, 8, 7s. Alright, and now we do this repeating pattern where we have a higher voice D flat here at the 9 E, 11 A and D, 10 G, go to the 9 B, same type of deal, hit the lower notes, middle note to like the G and B there. Alright, and then just take that shape, drop it down to the A bar chord, so 5, 7s, 6 with the 5s, same feel. Drop down to a D, alright, 5A, 7 on the DGB, back up to the A, same type of deal. And we'll repeat those 4 chords, the D flat, okay, repeat that twice, the D flat, A, D, A. Alright, and then eventually we get to a bridge section here, and for the synth part that's going on, we start here at B now, and this is where we're strumming twice as long. Alright, so we stay on this B for about 8 strums, the 2A, 4D, come off to an open low E, alright, for 8 strums. New chord here at G at 3, E, 5, A, strum that 8 times. To the D at the 5 and 7. Then we do the B flat at the 6 and 8 on the low set. And then finish at the A at the 5 and 7. Alright, and it cycles through that thing a handful of times. Just by itself the first time, then guitar comes in and joins it. And it just starts by strumming this bar chord B minor. So bar 7s, got the 9 on the A and D. Okay, come up high for an E, barring the 12s, got the 14A and D, 13G. Drop that shape right there down to the 3s with the 5A, 5D, 4G. And then we get a bit of a D sus2, which is like 5A, 7D, and G, but we want the 5 on the B. Just kind of a subtle little thing that's in there. And then we do our bar chord B flat, so bar the 6s, 8 on the A and D, 7G, and then that same shape, just down a fret for the A at the 5s, the 7, 7, 6 there. Alright, and then for the outro section, the synth line here, a lot of stuff we've seen before, starts at the low F sharp here at the 2 and 4, off to the open E. Okay, the open A, alright, B at the 2 and 4s, then we do our D flat at the 4 and 6, A at the 5 and 7, D at the 5 and 7 under it, back up to the 5 and 7 for the A, then we do our F at the 8 and 10 on the A, D, bump that up a fret to the F sharp at the 9 and 11, and then finish it all with the D at the 5 and 7 here, and then low set here at the A, 5 and 7. And if you want to play the outro synth lead, we do these different, little bit different of a scale, but a lot of the same notes from the previous synth lead. Start on the B, we go 7-5, G we go 7-6, 4-2, 4-6, so. Alright, and do the chromatic 4-5-6 on the G. Okay, 7B, 5-7, 7G, 6, 4-6, 2, do the chromatic 4-5-6, 2, new little thing here, we go 1, 2, 4, 6 on the G. Okay, 7, 5B, and then 7G, 6.